And really, I think the main problem is the money in politics. That's what really drives me, because I see people taking corporate money or billionaire money, and they're representing the private interest, they're representing their interest, but the public, a grocery store worker can't contribute, $2,000 to your campaign, so you're not going to work for them. So I think that system right there, that's the core of what we need to change. If we don't change that, then nothing else is going to change. And I think I'm a Teddy Roosevelt progressive, I call myself, because he was all about the square deal, having the balance between public and private interests, and bringing that to the government. I understand, I run a business. I get, the need for private interests to be represented in our government to make sure they have sustainable businesses. But you can't, completely ignore the public interests at their behest. There has to be give and take. There has to be a balance between it. So I saw that lacking not only in our, local governments, but in our federal governments. That's why people are angry. That's why people are upset. That's why people voted for Donald Trump. I have so many Republican workers that in my stores, and they all feel the same way. The system's broken. No one cares about us. They're all corrupt. They only care about them. And here comes Donald Trump and saying he's gonna, he's that populist message, or he's gonna help us. Even though it was a complete and total lie, he was able to convince a whole bunch of people to vote for him. So we have to get in there now and make the changes that we need. And it starts with getting that money out and bringing a balance of interests in the assembly and the government and, federally and all of that. So I feel like that's my role. That's my number one goal. But it's just so obvious that when you take, $1,000 from this business, and then they come back and say, we give you $1,000, here's how we want you to vote on this policy, or take this amendment out, or put that amendment in. Those things happen, and those are things add up. And eventually, if everybody on both sides is doing that, who's representing the people's interests? Who's taking care of the families that they're suffering? The people that are just trying to survive day to day. And it's gotten to that point, we're at that breaking point. That's why Trump is in office, because everyone's representing those corporate interests, the billionaires, the millionaires, the people that have that power. Because the thing about money is that money gives you power. So I don't want to take billionaires' money away, but I want to take all of that power that they have and control that they have. That's where the problem is. Take your $1 billion and buy 10 yachts, that's fine. But when you start trying to use that money to, influence our government systems and take over our government systems, or, decimate our government systems, that's where the problem is. And it's gotten to that point where there's so many of our institutions have been taken over by that, private interest and what they want, and, what their desires are, and ours, the people's interests, are just completely disregarded.